back to Deadfire. I just got some deckhands and stuff in the last video. It's been a while since I played this, but I just looked through the tutorial for the ship, and it's kind of interesting. There's all kinds of stuff. Cannon placements, deckhands, different flags. I guess you can kind of upgrade it. So the real cool thing is, like, you can get ale and all kinds of shit for these guys. Better food too. Let's get them rice. No, I'm not sure which one they choose. Do they always eat the best one first? Or does the arrangement matter? Not really sure. Regardless, maybe it like goes through all of them. So having some give no morale, some give negative. I can fly colors if I want. Interesting. So anyway, last I left off, I was on the way to Nekitaka, which I don't know where that is. It's a shipwreck. Let's head there first. Two hours passed. Adventuring supplies. Nothing of value left. Okay. So we're working with injuries. What's down here? Will it tell me what the village's name is? Who is injured? That's what I want to know. Okay, click the known locations drop-down list to bring up a list of places you have discovered. You can also search for locations by name. Ships travel faster in deep water, slower in shallow waters. Known locations. Aha! Set sail, motherfucker! Now we're talking. At least I was going kind of the right way. Need to figure out who's injured. It's a lot of interesting places to explore.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000,000 bells ringing all at once.
So like 100,000.
You feel a resonance in your core, a bell ringing in tune with all the others. Something in you bends, then
Or a
breaks.
million. I'm dumb.
And you are borne away on the ringing tide, just another peal among the many. The tide of bells recedes. You lever yourself up onto your knees and realize you have been here before. You stand in Bareth's realm. You are alone. And then, you are not.
Uh-oh.
An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Berith, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Berith settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
She intones. Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
He's
The
draining
Pallid
souls.
Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Berith dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Berith? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodica, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the Pallid Knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
Wodica says, and grins.
A moon? Oh, is that a name? You would destroy Aora for what, spite?
Wodica stares at you down her long nose.
I would destroy it all in the blink of your wide eye if I believed it would benefit me. Empires can be rebuilt. Souls can be reforged. Do not forget it.
Ooh, what a
The
bitch.
figure beside the aspect of Berith flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword. Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
Magran says.
What kind of precautions do you
Magran looks
suggest?
at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
Wow.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
Helia says. You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide.
Maybe I'll just say nothing.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedeka suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who wiped dear desperate Alice's mind. You could have let my followers help her kill the man who tormented her. But you did not. Curious.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Attempting to end Aethys may only make things worse.
Your point is well made, little Watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault.
Magrin says.
However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice. The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magrin grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magrin stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Absorbed his children, I don't understand. Actually, I think I do understand. It's probably those people that follow him.
The Pallid Knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magrin's direction.
Magrin speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wodika waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys, other than decisive, final action.
There's no cause to act now.
Your opinion is unasked for, but noted. We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
We'll see about that.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet, you are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. Helpless to resist, you tumble into her impossible eyes. You fall wildly, endlessly, unable to find your bearings or slow your spin. And in the distance, Above, no, behind you, comes an insistent ringing. You angle yourself toward it, searching for the sound. A small silver bell appears just inches from your fingertips. You reach for it, straining to still its interminable ringing. The moment you touch it, your soul slams into your body with all the force of a fall from the top of the sky. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
Very cool.
Why not? Sure.
Take all my shit.
How may I be of service, my lady?
How did I get a
With
ship?
Cadnua in ruins, there was little purpose in waxing sentimental over the rubble. I was able to salvage enough of your treasure and wealth to afford the purchase of the Defiant and the hire of a small crew. Unfortunately, that consumed the remainder of your once considerable assets. Under the circumstances, I hoped you would not object. I was the steward of your keep at Cadnua, my lady. Long before your time, I had my soul bound to a throne of Ardraban. And for nearly 200 years, I felt Cadnua and the comings and goings within it like an extension of myself. It is a strange connection to lose. Still, it would be unseemly for me to complain of loss to you, my lady. I suggest we proceed to Nekataka, my lady. It is the largest city in Deadfire, and we shall be better able to get our bearings there.
Okay. So this is probably the hub where I talk to all my people.
Not a very nice word. Who taught you that?
Uncle Seraphim?
I see. We'll just have to have a little chat, won't we?
I don't feel like going through a ton of conversation. We already did a bunch of lore, so I think I will just embark from here. Oh boy. Chitupek points to a dark spot in the distant horizon. Captain, a vessel approaches. You squint on the horizon and see unfamiliar colors snapping in the breeze. The vessel keeps its distance, skulking about your periphery like a feral cat outside of a slaughterhouse. It makes no attempt to hail you. Let them be. You order your crew to flee with all possible haste. The enemy vessel recedes behind you until finally it disappears in the horizon. Don't need to go attacking every single motherfucker I see. And who is injured? This is quite a big map. I don't want to do another boat thing right now. Nekataka. Oh boy. Ruffians. As you walk down the dock, your approach is noted by a cadre of heavily armored Alma. Their leader briskly leads them to intercept you. The harbor master looks you up and down with pursed lips. She looks past you towards your ship.
You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
She didn't say this first part. She cranes her thick neck to look along the hull of your ship. Her expression conveys equal portions of incredulity and pity.
Why do we gotta be farmers just because we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers too.
As her attention returns to you, the Alma's mood becomes more formal.
I'm the harbor master, Kaoha. I must ask your reason for docking in Neketaka.
Following a giant made of Audra, I need to see someone in the palace about it. Harbor Master chuckles to herself, as do the women and men behind her.
Yeah, you do need to see someone, truly. I think it's the animancers in the spire you're looking for. To help with your head.
Yeah, I got that. She assembles the guards, roar with laughter, and clap the harbor master on the back for her joke. Deep within you, you feel an uncomfortable rolling. You can't be certain if the sensation is physical or spiritual, but it immediately induces nausea and fills your ears with the sound of blood rushing through your head. Cutting through the din, you hear a familiar woman's voice speak. Each word comes slowly, falling with what sounds like the chiming of a small bell.
Show them.
Okay.
Show them what you are.
I'm a watcher and a herald of Barath. The whole Deadfire is in danger. Please let me pass.
I've heard enough. There's no room for you in Neketaka Harbor. Get back on your ship and head back to open sea.
The harbor master gestures towards your boat. The women and men behind her nod and murmur in agreement. The nausea continues to build inside you, blood pounding against your skull. Again the woman's voice, again the chimes.
I will help you.
Oh.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
The roar in your head begins to abate. The ringing of the chime becomes clearer, rhythmic. 2 successive peals, followed by a brief respite. You realize the chime is ringing in tandem with your heartbeat. You open your eyes. The harbor master is gesturing wildly, presumably to get your attention and yelling in your face. But you hear no words, only the ringing of the chime as your heart slows and slows and slows and slows.
Now.
Nope.
What? What is this?
Run for it!
You got style, Cap. Worm-riddled, ship-sinking, flat-fucking freaky style.
Damn right I do. I'm gonna loot your fucking place for being a dick. Not that I wouldn't anyway. Did I get that one? No. Take all your cannonballs.
Port Marge is behind us. I thought this would be a relief.
Alright, this seems like a good place to end. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time.